Hello guys! Welcome everybody to Mando Monday. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This can be to do with any related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO or now CS2 investing, or any current or future update related one. If that's a Paris Major sticker release, which we could see later today, new souvenir packages, next operation details, or something that we do know is coming, like the leaked pins alongside the new knives that are found in the game files of CS2. If you guys have questions regarding any of that, something to do with me or possibly the background, leave it down below this comment section or any other one of my videos. Ask Mando, then ask your question. It's usually easiest and best for me to find it that way. As of today, we have absolute juicers for questions, a quick PSA about me, and regarding last week's and the next week's giveaway. Today's video sponsor is Market.CSGO. Market.CSGO is a buying and selling marketplace for your skins, but most importantly, a peer-to-peer site. So the wait times in between trading, buying, or selling are as low as possible. The marketplace has over 100,000 trades a day, and even a built-in tab to find the best deals to make the most amount of profit possible. It also has a built-in client via download or Chrome to make trading very profitable, but most importantly, as safe as possible. Selling is as easy as the click of a button with extremely low fees, that of course being 5%. Definitely one of the best in its field and gives you an edge versus other competition. Once you sell an item, it goes directly to your balance. From there, you can choose to cash out with many different options, many more than other rival sites. Market.CSGO is one of the best of its competition. With its low selling fees, scam-proof client, and a large amount of cash out options, I can't recommend this site enough. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Firstly, I want to say thank you for 17,000 subscribers. To give you guys some context, I've been doing YouTube for almost a decade, actually a little over that, but only until the past 2 or 3 have taken it very serious, and I never actually thought I'd ever see this number on my screen in my entire life. It's truly insane. Thank you so much. And then for the stuff about me. So you may have noticed the past couple of weeks I haven't uploaded as frequent. There's a couple reasons. The first one being is honestly I just needed a mental health break from YouTube. With the announcement of CS2 and even before that, I was grinding things out. And I'm not saying I got burnt out, I just needed a little bit of a break. When you lock yourself in a room or office for 16 or 17 hours a day grinding out videos, you need to see the outside world. I've also had a lot going on in my personal life, which has actually led me to sell some CS investments and part of my Lego collection, which does very much suck, but I can also say I'm very blessed since CS2 was announced and CS items spiked. And I did talk about this a couple weeks ago, but not really as much context as this week. I'm also focusing on quality versus quantity for videos going forward. For those of you who have been around since the very beginning, I would say the past 2 months of my content has by far been the best when it comes to thumbnails and editing, and I've just spent a boatload of time on them. Videos like Mando Monday used to only take 1 to 3 hours to make, where now it takes my entire day away. And for those saying, yes, it sounds like a job, well, because it is. I love doing this. Mando Monday is also a series though, where it is for the community, but something earlier today, like the Paris Major update, where I was warning people not to fall for some BS content, something like that that's more imminent is more important at the time. That's why those videos get pushed out first, but we'll try and have Mando Monday out going forward on Mondays. If I have to make them on Saturday or Sunday, then so be it. This might sound a little bit weird, but I've also noticed this past year, I enjoy making other CS content, and most importantly, I'm actually able to because you guys seem to enjoy it as well. Investing is still definitely going to be a thing for my CS channel, but for an example, I have a few new series planned, one of them being an operation retrospective. We go through every single operation, discuss what's changed, what came out at the time, what was innovative, what was milked from the last time. You kind of get the point. Videos like that take a lot longer to make, but at the end of the day, I enjoy all and still want to branch out. And if you missed it, yes, I'm still going to be doing investing content. And as it goes for, I believe 2 weeks ago now, we did a giveaway. This is for a USPS print stream. Now, who ended up winning this was Purple Guy. He also commented on Discord and the YouTube channel. Thank you very much, my friend. What we're going to be giving away next week is the R8 Fade, and then I believe after that, we're going to do an Op Duality. How you enter, all you have to do, leave your comment on this video with your Steam ID. On your profile, if you can, put your trade link in your bio. If not, I can just add you, worst case scenario. Send you a trade, I'll send you a message. All I do is go to this YouTube comment picker website. I put the YouTube video URL at the top, and then it picks a comment at random, and that's who I give it away to. And I show it every Mando Monday as well, because I feel like giveaways in the past, especially in the CS community, let's just say haven't always been 100% legit. So hopefully that cleared some things up. Let's hop into the regular questions. Our first question up here is from Robbie. He says, ask Mando. Bit different than your usual content that I've been loving recently. Thank you very much, my friend. Do you think now is a good time to get into skin creation? We have all the new skin models with the release of CS2. The tools may be a lot easier to use, and there'll be a lot smaller pool of skins for Valve to choose from for new guns. Good question. I absolutely love it. I think it was 8 or 9 months ago, I actually bought a book off Amazon from a bunch of skin creators in the skin community on Twitter. I reviewed it. You can buy it yourself. You can also download it for free online, I believe, and it talks about skin creation, how it works in CSGO, and how it's going to work in CS2. And this was almost a year ago, so things have definitely changed, but it talks about how skin creation is a lot easier in CS2. The tools are easier to manage. They're more free because the ones in Go were actually pretty expensive, at least for the most expensive ones. And yeah, I actually think it's a pretty good time if this is what you're interested in. I've seen a lot of people recently try to get into sticker creation. They're hoping one just gets picked for a capsule and they make a bunch of bank, but just like a lot of of things, like for YouTube, for an example, don't have money as your main motivating factor, because eventually you're going to get burnt out. Your idea of Valve having a smaller pool of skins to choose from, I completely agree. Try and make something no one else is doing, or a skin design you always feel and have felt that should have been made in the first place. Our next question up here is regarding knives and them falling down in price. Question: do you think there's any chance for knife prices dropping down anytime soon? Let's just say in the next 2 months. I really want to buy one. The knife prices seem rather criminal. And while I completely agree with you, there is also somewhat of a hard truth to this. I haven't wanted to make a video on this quite yet because I'm not sure how well it's going to go over with people watching the video. But right now, the CS community, especially with investing and just the market itself, is rather really messed up. We're getting almost no new players to the game. CS2 at this moment is pretty much dead. At least the beta is. No one can play it. People who can and want to play it don't really want to because it's only Dust 2. The announcement hype isn't really over. The game is still coming out in the summer, but prices are still rather high. And with no new people coming to the game, I think a lot of things are currently in a bubble. That's just my thoughts, but the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than we think, because obviously it's very hard to have a bubble when everything is risen up in price, right? Now, to answer your question, I think it's going to be a couple things. It's going to depend on operation. It's also going to depend on the release of CS2, how well that goes. A part of me deep down really does think after 2 or 3 months, if they don't release this properly, CSGO won't die by any means, but people are just definitely going to leave the game because they're going to be fed up with Valve's BS, not fixing certain things, not releasing anything new. I think their mindset's going to be, well, we just gave you a brand new Counter-Strike game, don't expect an operation in the next year or two, right? That's just my thoughts. But in 2 months, probably not. It just really depends on the release of CS2 and an operation coming. Now, our next question up here is regarding my gloves. Luke, are those gardening gloves? Why are you exposing me like that, man? Come on. Yes. Specifically sports gloves, though, so let me get it right, buddy. Now, our next question up here is regarding the re-release of older skins, which is definitely interesting. This is from Crunchers. Do you think Valve will release vanilla finishes for OG knives? I feel like vanilla finishes shouldn't be locked to cases with old school finishes, but should be standard for all knives in that case, kind of like a tournament logo and tournament capsule. I see where you're coming from, but I don't really understand, nor does this make a whole lot of sense, especially for CS. Because vanilla knives, most people feel like, are just the standard default version, they should be more cheap, at least on the market, which I somewhat agree with you. But if they did do that, it would just be an absolute gong show. Every case going forward, operation or not, would have OG knife finishes like the vanilla, for an example. We've seen what happens to a pair of gloves or certain knives if they re-release in a case a year or two later, like the clutch case gloves and the clutch case in general. Yes, it's up right now, but a lot of those are going to fall down in price in the long term because you have now 2 options to get those. So after a couple years of cases coming out, vanilla knives are going to drop probably 50%. That's a pretty big number, just using it as an example. They would drop either way. So I think a lot of people understand where you're coming from. I definitely do, but I don't think Valve would do that. Neither do I think the CS community would enjoy that. I think Valve going forward can come up with more creative designs, new finishes, and we'll have to wait and see for just that. My next question up here is regarding case drops. From a player's perspective, do you think cases that are dropped in a game are too few? I personally struggle to get my weekly case, although I'm not playing much. It's strange to me. Often I get my only weekly case the last day before the weekly reset. So I can actually very much agree with this. Every time I play a game of CS, I usually try and play every single day. I'm the exact same way. I see everyone else always getting cases. I've seen a sticker capsule too get dropped in a game before I get dropped one. We get the worst skins on the planet. Some of them worth $2 to $3, when if that was an operation, those could be in the hundreds possibly. And I think it's definitely not helping why cases are so expensive right now. But it's also once again helping the market thrive, where it's making things just more expensive, but a much harder threshold for new players to get into. Seems to be Valve's not going to be changing anything anytime soon. How we saw the Anubis collection drop where it's on the shop, I don't think Valve is going to re-release cases or put new cases like that on the regular CSGO shop. Doesn't make any sense. They'd make less money. Skins would be oversupplied, less in demand, and probably just crash things in general. Our next question up here is regards to an operation. Next operation release date, question mark. So I've really had some time to think about this, and honestly, I don't know. Like we kind of talked about at the beginning of the video, I think Valve with releasing CS2, they're going to be like to the community, well, you just got the most insane release of all time. The thing that was never going to come out, that of course being Counter-Strike 2. We have to work on this. We only have 6 to 7 devs. Don't expect an operation or anything crazy anytime soon. But on the other hand of things, if they hire more people, it becomes extremely successful, they're going to have to drop more content, or they're going to learn the hard way, where they're going to lose a huge chunk of their player base. I don't say that to be rude. It's just Valve really does think they somewhat own the people who play CS, I feel like. They kind of say what goes. They don't really care what people think, and they know at the end of the day, most people are just going to stay and play either way. But after a few months of playing CS2, either in the very end of 2023, beginning of 2024, that's when I think we're going to see an operation if we do see one. But everyone's been thinking we're going to get one pretty much every single week for the past 2 years. Doesn't seem to be. But it is Valve at the end of the day. Anything is possible. Now, our last question up here is in regard to buying in now, but I'm also going to touch on selling. Invest now, or is it still FOMO? The CS market in general has definitely slowed down down the past few days, which is, I guess, somewhat of a recommendation if you want to buy some play skins, buy some skins like the AK-47 Slate. This has dropped down quite a bit, more the liquid side of things. The Paris Major, they might drop down even a little bit more. Place some buy orders to also profit from people just wanting to buy these capsules and sell their older items. Now, when it comes to investing, you have to be very, very careful because something like the Desert Eagle Blaze can happen to you what happened to a few hundred people just in the past couple of weeks. To give some context, I was someone to buy into this at $400 or $500. It shot up to $1,500 in almost a little over a week. I took that opportunity and sold it because, well, it went up way too fast, didn't make any sense. The price being $1,500 was not sustainable whatsoever for how many exist. Minimal wear versus factory new. Those prices you always have to look at as well. For something like this, there was like a 30 to 40% difference with the prices there at some points. You have to ask yourself if it makes sense, if it can come down, and whenever a hype does happen like that, you have to wait until it does come down because it inevitably will, just like this graph and anything else. The gold arabesque, souvenir factory new. This was over $20,000, dropped back down to almost 10 just a week later. Everyone buying certain things, if everyone's talking about it, also has a 7-day cooldown. So after that 7 days is up, regrets take place, trade blocks expire, and everyone's going to sell at the exact same time, therefore crashing the price if that's what actually happened. And lastly, I want to touch on for today's video is selling and how important it is. This last couple of months, even right now, I believe is still a very important time for people to take profits if you've been in for the very long term. Either if you've been really heavy into CS investing since December of 2021, or just recently, right before CS2 got announced, your inventory right now, which is probably down a little bit since its all-time high the past couple of weeks, is still up exponentially. And it's important to take some profits and you don't lose nor profit until you cash out. Just like the Desert Eagle Blaze for my situation. If I didn't cash out getting $1,300 or $1,400, I'd be getting under $1,000 now back to my stock price. And the mindset of just buy is now just the regular mindset of everyone on CS. Not saying you got to cash out, just take your profits, hold your money for a little bit, and then go into something a little different. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. That was definitely the longest opening to a Mando Monday, probably quite yet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.